Check, check, check. Shawn, can you say check?
Check.
All right. So, Shawn, what grade are you in now?
I'm in 11th grade.
And what high school?
Beckman.
Okay. You're looking forward to being a senior?
Yes.
What are some of the things that are on your mind as you get ready to graduate? Or is your senior year kind of like,
Yeah, I just want to finish my senior year, then I'll think about it.
So right now you're not going to think about it?
But anyway, there is some stuff in my mind, though.
Are you kind of thrown off because of what you found out about that elevator?
Yeah, one of my childhood elevators got modernized. Basically, they redid the cab in the inside. We did the fixtures and all that. I liked that elevator for years, ever since I was a little boy.
Is change kind of hard?
Yeah, change is hard sometimes for everything for me.
And why is that?
It just is living with autism, being a teenager, all that. 17, almost 18 on June 1st.
Do you have any plans for what you want to do when you graduate?
I might go to adult transition because Mimi and my grandma and grandpa want me to go there, but I call them Mimi and Papa. So Mimi and Papa want me to go to adult transition, and then afterwards I may get a job at real estate or something. I'm good at talking to people, and I think I'd be good at selling homes.
What would you like the world to know about Shawn Miller?
What I would like the world to know is I have some advice too, but first I'll tell you about me. So, about me, I like elevators, computers, phones, and cars, and I have autism. But one more thing, guys, that I want everyone to know. Be happy, be positive, put a smile on your face every day.
Want to talk about your week?
Yeah. My week at school is good. And, I really like high school. I have a crush on a girl named She's really beautiful. And I really hope me and end up dating someday.
What's today?
The last day of the 2017.
Okay.
And I'm working on some New Year's resolution as we speak.
Did you want to read them to us?
Number 5, no more perseverating. How am I going to achieve those goals? So how am I going to achieve that goal? When people are done talking about things, I'm going to talk about other things. Next, no touching anymore. People don't like it when I pet them and stuff, like doggies. That's what I do sometimes to people. 7, no getting upset when things don't go my way. Like when for example, I'm not going to get mad. I'm gonna calmly handle it when things don't go my way. 8, no getting aggressive when I get upset. Like sometimes if I feel like hitting my parents and I'm upset, that's not gonna happen anymore. 11, stay off my phone when people are around and pay attention. In fact, my friend Evan's here, so I'm gonna stay off my phone right now and I'm gonna work on it.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Thank you.
We're entering our 10th year of knowing each other.
Yep.
When you turn 17, that'll be 10 years.
I know. My name is Shawn Miller, and I'm an autistic kid who lives in Tustin, California.
There's a term called people first language. And you wouldn't want to refer to yourself as an autistic kid because autism is just something that you have.
Right.
So you could call yourself a person with autism.
Yep. I'm a person with autism.
What is autism, Shawn?
Autism is it's like a thing where you live a normal life, but except you have some challenges. Sometimes when it's hard to wait, I just feel like I get under pressure. Sometimes I have vision problems. Sometimes I have behavioral problems and stuff. And yeah, that's all my challenges.
People need to kind of understand you, but do you need to understand how other people don't like that stuff?
Yes.
If you could tell people, if you wanted people to know one thing about Shawn Miller, what would it be?
I don't like having any challenges. What's on my mind today is I've been noticing something about me being in a special ed class. There was a guy named apparently who thinks I can't be independent as I would like to be, because some of the special ed, because some of the special ed people have to stay by adults at all times because they don't have good judgment. As for a guy named he thinks that about me, and that really kind of concerns me and bothers me. I'm an older adult, and it really stresses me out because I told him yesterday about me getting my driver's license. He's like, well, you have to show more maturity to do that. And he's like, well, I'm 35 years old, and I'm still working on maturity. That's exactly what he told me. And geez, okay, I'm an adult. I'm almost an adult. I was talking to him today about me being an adult. Well, 17. Well, 17's still a kid. Excuse me. It's like, I'm almost 18. I'm almost an adult. Can you please stop treating me like I'm a kid? It really kind of bothers me. Wouldn't you get frustrated if you were in a special ed class and people were thinking about this about you?
Shawn, you got to realize you're not going to be able to change everybody's mind.
When somebody runs into me, they're going to be like, where's your parents? Like, let's just say I'm telling them, oh, I'm independent. Okay, but where's your parents?
Okay.
That's what somebody could do because...
And what's the worst thing that happens? Hey, let's pretend that you're out. Hey, Shawn, where are your parents?
I'm working at Independence.
Okay. But why do you even need to say that? Why not just say, hey, I'm out by myself?
Well, if I explain that, they're gonna think I can be independent, but some of the special eds can be independent, but they have to have an adult 10 feet away. That's what people may be thinking about me. So this is what I'm sitting here worrying about.
As long as you continue to show that you are mature, you're not going to have anything to worry about. You just need to remember to do it. That means leaving appropriate text messages. That means saying appropriate things to people. That means not doing inappropriate things when you're out, like going up to people and saying, can I have a bite of your food? Talk to me.
I'm in the point in life where I'm going through teenage struggles right now.
And
especially with autism, people are talking to me at school like I'm a little kid, and someone's doing, and I'm doing this thing called OT, occupational therapy, and basically people are talking to me like I'm a little kid, and basically someone named is making me do this stuff because I was talking to her about my road trip to Arizona and all that. She's like, first work, then talk. She basically did a 5-star chart too.
so you didn't have a problem with her saying first work, then talk.
Well, that sounded like a little kid.
Did you have a problem
With the 5-star, yeah, this is so mean. And then a lot of people are talking like a little kid. Like, such as, I was in ASB, I was talking to someone about me being independent and going on my own. I asked this girl if she thinks I should go out, and she's like, well, when you're 18, you can do it. Yeah, this ASB girl said that to me today, too.
But did you ever think that she may not be talking to you like your special ed? That might be the rule in her house. Like,
No.
Her parents may have told her, you can't go out on your own until you're 18.
No, because, No, because she said when I'm 18, I'm technically an adult. Then I can go out. So see, basically, they think I'm too young to go do it.
Well, Shawn, I only say that might be the rule in her house because there was a girl in one of the classes that I was in. She didn't have a phone. Everyone in the school has a phone. This girl doesn't have a phone. So that's maybe the rule in her house. So the rule could be for that girl. And so she was just telling you the rule that her parents have told her. And it doesn't matter, what your rule is. Her rule could be the rule that she was told. That right there is part of autism, is sort of, being able to see the world the way someone else does, not just in Shawn's world.
I know, but I'm being totally serious. It's no. People think of me like I'm in the special ed. That's the problem.
And do you think? Can you say why people might think that?
Because I'm in a special ed class, and people are treating me this way. They're treating me like a little kid, and I'm very upset at it. I suggest you turn this off. Okay? You turn this off, okay? Get off of this documentary now. Just. I'm sorry. I'm just upset. I'm in the phase right now when I'm working on getting my driver's license.
How's that going?
Good. However, I have a dream car that I want, and I have a dream car that I want. It's called Lexus CT 200H. I've been looking at them for a while, and yeah, just studying's been going good. Been reading the permit. Haven't had time to do it lately, but yeah. Watch for pedestrians. Don't go around the train track. Don't go around the train track when the bar is down because a train can run over you.
How was your week?
It was good. I made some new friends. We're gonna start hanging out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you talk to him about that?
We're gonna start hanging out at lunch. Yeah, we did talk about that.
You excited about your 18th birthday?
Yes. Are you still coming?
Of course. Why do you... Now, how did we end up at the aquarium?
Because I requested it, because I really want to go to the Long Beach Aquarium, because I think it'd be fun.
What? Really? I've just never known you to be into the aquarium.
Yes, I am. Took my selfie. Because we all have that one picture of us when we're young. You know how we have that one picture of us when we're young, Evan?
Mm-hmm.
That we want to save when we get older? I mean, and this is the picture I'm going to keep for years and years and years.
Even though you're going to look different in a few years?
Well, because you know how you like have pictures of you when you're younger, and you know how everyone has that one picture to show off from when they were a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
You have that one picture too. So this is that one picture for me. I'm talking to Mimi about inviting some of my new friends to hang out from school.
What do you want to do with them?
I'm talking to her about maybe going bowling or something.
You're like a social organizer, Shawn.
Yeah.
That's a really good quality to have. I'm not that way. I don't like mixed worlds. Like, I hang out with one group of people, then I hang out with another. I don't mix things up unless people already know each other. Yeah, keep taking pictures of yourself.
So in my high school days, which is currently happening right now, I'm almost a senior. In my high school days, I'm walking around school, talking to friends, having a good time, having a good laugh, hanging out, having fun, and I'm really hoping some of these kids stay my forever friends from high school. I'm really hoping some of these friends stay my friends forever. I did something that was not cool. Look at the door in Mimi's car, my grandma's car. Look, there's gum in it. I put gum in there.
How would you feel if someone put gum on your computer? You came home and they put it on the keyboard.
I wouldn't like it.
How would you?
So I have to take it out.
Yeah. How would you feel if someone put gum on your new Surface Pro that you bought?
Upset. I have a new Surface Pro now.
So should you do that?
No.
So why would you put it in Mimi's car?
Look,
look, dude, that's really gross. You gotta be more respectful of other people's property. That's kind of like a bratty thing to do. People buy you things and they take care of you, and that's how you repay them, by putting gum in their, like, in slots in their car.
Oh, never thought of it that way. I just recently got blocked from one of my pen pals.
Didn't you do that a while ago?
Yeah, I did it a while ago, and I still keep trying to call him, and I should really stop.
When someone blocks you, Shawn, you should send one phone call or one text.
I mean, I regret what I did.
If you don't hear back, maybe text them again a day or two later. But you just are relentless, and you got to realize you don't like it when people do that to you. I'm sorry if this interview seems like I'm coming down on you.
No, you're not.
But I just want you to learn, like, 'cause here's the thing, if you learn this now, you won't have these problems in the future. No, I know, and that's fine. But I'm saying, if you learn this now, you won't have these problems in the future.
Oh, because now I regret my problem.
You're a great guy, Shawn. Show people the great guy.
Okay.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
So, what's going on now in your life?
School's almost out.
What year's ending?
My junior.
So, is next year an important year?
Yeah, my senior year. Well, I kind of learned one thing.
What?
Be careful with the friends I choose because my friend tried to push me out of his group.
And what'd you learn from that? Like as far as being careful with friends, are you gonna let people push you around?
No.
What do you do if they try to do that? Do you keep talking to them and let them do it, or do you stop talking to them?
I stopped talking to them.
And what do you do?
I'll just leave them alone. Hey, we're going to LA with my papa.
I don't think I can get into this.
What are we looking for, Shawn?
Hang on.
We're looking for a parking
I'm gonna turn
structure.
this off right now.
Why is today so special?
Because it's my birthday and I'm 18 today.
Going up.
I like the smell of this elevator.
And look, there's different colors. Mr. Evan, now that I saw this color, this is my new favorite color now that I saw it.
Is this your first elevator ride as an 18-year-old man?
Yes.
Going
How are you
down.
feeling?
Happy.
Raytheon's aerospace.
Going down.
Papa, what's it like having 18 years of elevator riding under your belt?
I'm telling you, I'm a different man because of it. You know, I feel I'm a
Why
little
can't I
lighter
hear?
because I keep going up and down. You know, it's just been wonderful. Oops.
Are we ready?
Yeah, make a wish.
Happy
birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Shawn Miller. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Oh yeah, blow it out, yeah.
Shawn, what do you think about being 18?
I love it actually. This is my first day and I love it already.
Okay.
You
Me
were at
and-
a friend's house,
Yeah, and got on a conflict here.
and it was about what?
About me not being able to play video games. I said my friend is better. I called him and told him that I really need his help and all that stuff, and it's not paying attention. Then me and talk a lot and trying to explain. He gets mad. He throws laundry basket. Then he slams the door to his room. I feel so bad when Mimi picks me up. I try to slam the window of her car and slam her trunk. I get so mad later that I don't think we're gonna work out that I bite myself. And then this morning, I was still thinking about it. Mr. Evan comes over. I hit the window of his car, and then I try to slam the door to where his car will break. Which, Mr. Evan, I'm very sorry for doing that to you.
Thank you. And also know that I appreciate that, and I appreciate the way you told us the story about how basically you were trying to explain to him that it's hard for you to play video games. He didn't seem to understand it. But also, you know that he has challenges, and it's sometimes hard for him to understand things. So it was maybe not the best situation, but your friendship will be better for it because now he knows, and now you know kind of certain boundaries with each other. Well, I think this is a good idea, but hey, we're going to go over there. We're going to give it. It's going to be a quick visit, okay? It's not going to be a long visit.
Okay. Around the time I was 3 years old, then that's when I started having behaviors. I didn't have that many at first. Mr. Evans, some of the words are like spelled wrong, but we can change that when we edit the book. Even though I didn't have that many behaviors, I had a pretty good life. So, I want to commit suicide.
Why?
Because me and my friendship, it's not working out. So therefore, I don't want to live anymore. I want to die. I want to kill myself.
But then if you do that,
I don't care.
hey, where'd Shawn go? And then
So
he wants
if-
to hang out with you.
No, if I lose a friend, so here's the two options in my life. Number one, either me and are going to be friends again. Number two, my life is over.
It's really not, though.
Yeah, it
You
is.
have a lot more friends.
Well, because look, Mr. Evan, look. See this electric fly swatter? I was going to turn it on. I was going to put my tongue to it. And then I was going to let the thing shock me so bad that it kills me.
Do you think that that's really...
I
Do you think that that's really a good idea?
Well, if me and don't work out, then yeah.
But I'm telling you that you guys will. I'm telling you that, like, you know, I always ask you, do you trust me? Do you trust me and Papa?
Well,
Plan.
Papa told me everything's going to be fine last night. And what happened? It wasn't fine today.
Okay, but maybe should you have not called him today? Maybe given him a little more space?
What do I do? Well, wait. What if he needs space tomorrow?
And give him space tomorrow.
What do I do if he needs space forever?
He won't. But Shawn, like I say, sometimes you try to make things better and you make it worse.
Well, I just don't want. I didn't mean to make it worse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Give him space.
I will not.
And this is something to learn for your friendships in the future too. Give them space sometimes. This is you're just learning. What are we doing?
We're making a summer movie. We're in a hotel room on our first road trip, me and Evan.
And what's it like? We started when you were 7, now you're 18. What's it like? We're like using all this technology. We're, like you said, in LA.
Pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
How do you feel? How's your summer going?
Good.
You enjoying it? You excited? We got 2 more weeks, man. It's a good time.
Yep. I'm enjoying the time.
Easy. Shawn, deep. Right your breath. Now get over a little closer to the right. There you go, straight. There you go. So now this thing is real sensitive to the touch, so you don't have to steer a whole lot. Staying on your side of the road. Okay, stop at the first one.
Wow, it's funny. You were doing this last night, too.
I know. I'm just trying to get the gunk off my face. Look how black they are.
Is that helping, doing the brush? What grade you going into?
Well,
You excited?
yes.
Happy to be a senior?
Mm-hmm.
You a little nervous?
Mm-hmm. Look, every time I put my feet down, look at this gunk. Look at this white little gunk. It keeps getting on my feet.
So what do you want to talk to us about?
Hey, I got some new socks last Friday with Mr. Evan. These are really cool. Look at all the cool designs I got.
Don't show my messy table, guys.
I love them.
Doesn't want
No,
to.
no.
Okay. Well, stop it.
Yeah,
Oh
Shawn.
my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What are you interviewing me? What are you...
Shawn, stop.
Mimi, get over here now. Get over here now. Get over here now.
Have a seat.
All right. So what are we doing today?
We're having Mimi's birthday dinner.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do to help make this a very special dinner?
Well, I decided to make a decision I decided I wanted to buy cookies and cupcakes for my grandma for her birthday.
And how does that make you feel? You seem very proud of doing that.
Yes, because it's my grandma's birthday and I wanted to do something special for her.
You know, it seems that you do a lot of special things for people. Do you often feel as good as you feel now?
Well, I feel even more special because it's her birthday today and it's for her party
Gotcha.
at Margiano's. She takes me to school, she cares for me, and sometimes I worry and get upset and yell and scream when I have a problem, but since she's a wonderful grandma, she has to deal with that, and she is very good about it, and I'm proud of her. For such a guy in the autism spectrum, I'm proud of her. So I had to show kindness back. I told you we could do this. Look. Or how does this sound? Look, here's a gas car. We could do Kia Rio, $25 a day.
Shawn, your idea for me to rent you a car.
Rent yourself a car.
To rent myself a car so you can use my car. Put you on the insurance so that you can use my car for 3 weeks while you go and buy things that they may or may not be letting you buy on CBIs.
Yeah, it's because, well, no, it's just, no,
And
this
how
is
do I
money.
feel about this idea?
Well,
What did I say? What were my exact words?
This idea is terrible.
Yeah, how do you feel?
I have my party.
So you said it, senior year, you're going to be over in 5 months. How do you feel?
I feel great about that. I just feel wonderful.
Okay, sorry. You talked about being kind of sad about it.
Yeah, I am. I am kind of sad too because I'm going to miss everybody. I'm so used to high school.
Yeah, but like, you know, you got used to it, and then you went to high school, now you're used to high school. You go to adult transition and you'll get used to that.
Yeah.
And then what about moving to North Carolina?
I'm not happy about that either.
Thankfully, it's not for two years.
Yeah, I'm trying to push myself up with a pillow on me. I'm currently trying to do that right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you're being very successful. If you want to know the truth, it looks like the pillow's winning.
I
Pillow
wonder,
one, Shawn
whatever this
0.
is, I wonder if this will win too. I'm gonna put this on here for protection, you know.
What scares you the most? Is it growing up? Is it getting older? Is it the future? What's on your mind?
The future.
How come?
The whole, just getting older and stuff like that. You know, the graduating and all that. I just don't think I can make it.
How important are friendships to you?
Very important, just like anyone else. Videotape start.
1, 2, 3.
Nothing about. I know what I want to be. I was thinking about being a realtor, but I want a more helpful job, a more fun job. I want to work in special education, help people and this other kids with autism, just like me. I want to be able to help them improve their lives too.
Okay, so... And don't just change it because the camera's on now.
No, but...
But let's... No. Here's my question. Let's say a student you're working with starts having a behavior. They start using a lot of bad words and they start punching people. What are you going to do?
Well, I have 2 ways how I'd handle it. One, I would get involved and try to stop the behavior. Or 2, I would get on my phone and just play on it until I calm down.
Do you think you're going to get the job?
Well, maybe if I get in the middle of the behavior and try to help calm them down. Yeah, but maybe I don't care about the other thing. The other thing is play on my phone. Like I think they'll still hire me. Don't worry.
Okay, so what did you say you're worried about transition?
That they're going to be talking strict and tough to me.
Okay, and what would be so bad if that were to happen?
It's going to scare their voice. like, I don't know, like, what if one of the teacher's voices, what if it scares me, like, and then I have to, like, deal with the yelling and stuff? It's gonna, yeah.
Well, I would say listen to what they say. Do your best to follow the directions. Do your best to have good behavior. And chances are that's not going to happen. And then there's some times that you might feel a certain way and they'll listen to you. If you feel a certain way about something, if they're saying something to you that you maybe don't like, maybe sometimes you're going to have to kind of compromise. You know what that means?
What?
Sometimes you have to do something that you don't want to do. Sometimes you have to do something. Sometimes you get to do what you do want to do.
Or let's say we're at the mall and we were gonna go on elevators, and then a problem like this happens. He thinks I'm just running from the group and doesn't realize or whoever's working with me is there, taking me on the elevators, and then it becomes a whole problem with, and then he starts yelling at me, and it becomes a whole problem with me going on elevators at.
Well, they would know. They would know that you were allowed to do that because your BI would explain that.
Elevator reward for transition. This is what I'm going to explain. If I earn the total points for an elevator ride on the days that we go on an outing, and the place that happens to have an elevator, I can go on my elevator rides at that place. So, like, let's say, for example, I earn my total points on a Friday when we have our fun outings, like at the mall or something. Whoever works for me could take me on the elevator and take me for the amount of rides I earned.
Does it mean you should always stop at a railroad crossing? Is it a stop sign? Is that a stop sign?
No.
No. So it doesn't mean you should stop and wait for a signal. Okay, so when you see that sign, what does it mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Approaching.
You're approaching a railroad crossing, and you should prepare to stop. What do you think?
Yes.
Shawn is going to North Carolina for spring break
Yes, I am.
to get used to being there because eventually he's moving there in about 18 months. How do you feel about moving there?
That's 2.5 years, and I just sad because I'm gonna miss all my friends and stuff.
How do you feel about going there for the 10 days?
I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna have fun over there. Also, guys, I'm working on my Christmas list for 2020 early. I decided better to get started now.
So you were saying that you don't want to move to North Carolina?
No, it's gonna be too hard.
Are you going to do it?
I mean, my family, I have to because I live with my family, so yeah.
I don't want you to move, man.
I don't want to either.
But who knows? Maybe I'll be moving out there with you.
Okay.
Or at least maybe buying a place out there and then coming out a bunch. No matter what, I'm coming out a bunch. But there's some things in the work with me and Papa. But it's sad for me that you're going out there for these 10 days because I wanted to hang out with you and spend time with you over
I know, I'm gonna miss you too.
Spring break.
I'm drinking a sparkly bubbly.
Are you going to answer the phone if I call?
Yes.
Like, what do you think about? Like, what makes you sad? What makes you sad about moving out to North Carolina?
I'm gonna miss my friends and my family here. It's just gonna be so hard. I'm so used to this town.
You're always going to be close to people out here, and you'll always have ties to people out here.
That's a good point.
Well, Shawn, thanks for doing the interview, man. I'm going to miss you. I love you, and you know I love you, and I look forward to you returning safely in 10 days.
Because I miss you.
I miss you too, man. I miss you too. So how do you feel, man?
I do not like being quarantined.
I don't like being quarantined either, dude. I don't like, like we started this documentary and it was about, like, a big thing of it was, hey, it's your senior year. Who knew that your senior year was going to kind of become quarantined in North Carolina and that we'd all be quarantined at home? Do you like being home at all?
Yeah, but I just don't like being trapped in the house. I feel like I'm in a prison.
Kind of just, just everything.
I get to graduate.
Because we'll have a graduation ceremony for you. We'll have a graduation ceremony for you when you come back, and you never know, Beckman may still do one. I have a feeling that by the time you come back in May, a lot of this stuff will be easing. Like, there'll still be social distancing things, but things will be easing. So we'll be able to kind of go out more. How do you feel about going to transition now?
Good. I feel happy about it. I can't wait to be 19.
How come?
Because I'm getting older.
Do you kind of have a beard now?
Yes.
So, I've been commenting on this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to become friends with this person. But this person deleted their videos because I kind of think they got creeped out by me. Maybe I took things a little too fast.
Why do you think you took things too fast? What did you say?
I asked if they would like, when I get my license, they want to go for residency and stuff and blah blah blah.
Gotcha. So then what did we learn about, being on the internet and like with internet friends and with friends in real life?
This friendship should be different.
Yeah. Like, even in real life, if we don't know someone, we don't want to ask them to hang out. But on the internet, we shouldn't ask them to hang out. Why though? Because could he maybe not even be a young kid? Could he maybe be an older kid that you maybe don't want to hang out with?
She could be creepy.
Right, and that's the thing. He may also be too young for you to hang out with. So we learned, hey, let's keep things very what? Remember the word that I used? It starts with an S?
Simple.
Simple, and keep it on the surface. Talk with them about things that you like, but we don't invite people to our house. We don't invite people to go for rides because we just don't know them. And we may never know them, and that's okay because they're what kind of friends? Are they real life friends or are they internet friends?
Internet friends.
Yeah, did you get my thing about when the graduation's gonna be? August 5th.
Yep.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay. So what's on your mind today? What's kind of bothering you? What news did you find out about summer school?
I was supposed to go, but it didn't work out. I'm so bummed out because we had this great plan going on, like for me and my new friend to hang out. This whole pandemic thing has messed it up for me.
And so what's summer school going to be? It's not going to be, there's still going to be summer school, but how's it going to be?
Distance learning. We were supposed to do it on campus. At lunch, Tuesdays and Fridays, there was supposed to be a plan for me and my new friend to get to know each other, but it didn't work out that way.
This virus has messed up a lot of things, and things are opening up, but they're just not opening up as quickly as we'd like, huh?
Yeah.
Come here. Get over here, man.
I missed you.
I missed you too, dude. Bring it in.
Oh,
Yeah, I just wanted to video this. How you doing?
Good.
I'm really happy to have you back. I missed you.
Me too.
You look great. I love how long your hair is.
Thanks.
It's been too long.
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling? You look a little kind of.
I'm excited to be home.
Look like you got something on your mind.
You can ask me and Papa that.
Now, why did you pick the middle of the month to come back? Like you picked that a while ago. How did you know?
Well, because we figured that May 15th, two things. First of all, the company thought that about the 15th, that would be at least stage 1 of reopening.
Okay, and now we're at stage 2, right?
Yeah, where I would need to be back here. And the other thing is the house. What really sold it is the house rented, and the renters come in on the 15th.
So yeah, I mean, you had no
Had to
choice.
get out of there.
So right now, today's Shawn's first day back, right?
Yep.
Where'd you come back from?
North Carolina.
How long were you there?
For 2 months.
Where are we going right now?
Back to Beckman.
And I just asked you, I said, hey, how does it make you feel to see your old school all closed off?
It's sad, but, you know. At least I'm gonna have fun in transition.
Are we gonna eat there, or do we pick it up and take it home?
We pick it up and take it home because of this whole COVID-19 thing.
You know we're gonna get through this, right, pal?
Yeah.
Sorry that you have to deal with it.
So we're washing my feet right now because apparently went outside without my shoes on. Today was our last class meeting, and since it was our last class meeting, I didn't get a chance to actually say goodbye to my friends, and it made me sad.
I'm sorry, man. Saying goodbye to all of your friends. You know, it's Shawn, it's almost like you went away. I feel like almost like you went away and then you come back and it's like you went to spring break and everything just changed.
Yeah, it's really depressing for me.
Now's the time, let yourself feel it.
I have my wallet, don't worry.
You don't have to like get over it right away or make it okay right away. It's okay, but we're gonna have an extra long, extra fun summer. We're gonna figure out a lot of fun stuff to do. Go on some road trips, hang out, finish this movie that we're shooting right now.
Yep. And it's gonna be a great future. Thumbs up.
What are we doing?
We're socially distancing.
Oh yeah, we're talking while being socially distant.
So how come we have to do this?
Oh,
The COVID-19.
It's kind of a bummer, but hey, at least we can see Thomas, right?
Yeah, I miss you, bro.
Me too.
So good to see you, man.
It is so good to see you.
Yep. Hopefully we will be able to hang out again soon, Tom. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Shawn.
But I love it. That is awesome. I feel happy about this.
Let me see your pointy. Wait,
you
the
feeling?
pointy is this way then. That's the pointy right there?
It'll tell you on
How
the
you feel?
inside.
Yeah.
Happy. Wait, who is this again?
So what's going on?
Everything is blocked off.
How come? Oh, we got one coming up over here.
Well, because now because people are scared of a riot.
So they think that riots may happen, or they think that protesters may happen, so they're shutting everything off a little early. Not only do we're sort of slowly but surely getting through the pandemic, and now we have this thing with these
quarantine. Well, I have been saying that the quarantine's going to extend.
And why are people doing? Well, but why are people doing all this stuff? Why are they protesting?
I'm not really sure why. I really don't understand it.
Well, because remember that gentleman in Minneapolis was killed, unfortunately.
Yeah, the gentleman in Minneapolis.
So look at it. Do you see that?
Yes.
So they just have like a curfew. They're just kind of worried. Okay, talk to me. What's happening?
I'm in a hotel room and trying to enjoy my graduation weekend. We're taking a break for a week for a reason, because of some argument, because of some things that are going on that I really don't want to discuss in this documentary. And now I'm getting sick, and I just threw up, and I feel like, my body's in a bit of pain right now, and I'm not feeling good right now in this, and now because of the whole thing with my friend, with one of my friends, and the fact that I'm getting sick, I feel like this whole vacation has turned into a mess. I'm just panicked because of how this weekend has been, and I'm just panicked that this friendship is not going to get any better. But even worse, I'm just panicked about how I'm feeling with my sickness and stuff.
What if I tell you everything's gonna work out? Do you believe me?
Yeah.
Well, what happened before we ran into him?
We had a fun car adventure.
Yeah, but then remember you got some news before we ran into him?
That he needed a break for a week.
Well, he wanted to extend it for another week.
Yeah.
So, how does that make you feel? Well, how did it make you feel initially?
I was kind of sad. But I think he wants to see me more now because he ran into me on the car adventure.
You're thinking that because he saw you, he's going to be thinking, and then maybe be like, you know what, it was good to see Shawn.
Yeah.
So what are we doing right now?
Watching an old video I had on October 4th, 2019. Hey, can we do a 1 year later interview on October 4th of 2020 as well?
Sure.
It's okay. Maybe when you're older, you're an adult.
How do you feel seeing yourself?
Oh my God, why did I do that?
Let me tell you something. You're very brave allowing a camera just to kind of document yourself, and you're very brave to look back on it too, even though it's hard. So I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks.
Not a lot of people have the courage to do that, but you do. Don't ever doubt yourself, okay?
Okay. So I have my Starbucks drink. It is how I usually do it. I get these peanut butter cups, and then I open it like this, and then I put the peanut butter cups inside my drink. Okay, there's one. We're gonna make it two. Watch closely.
I see it. So what are you doing?
Made Mr. Evan a song for one of his new movies.
Can you play me some of it? Oh, this is a long song. How long is it?
Well,
No, I mean, it's fine, however long it is. Here, play some of it. It's awesome. So how do you come up with how you want to lay it out?
I just used some of the tracks.
But what do you think when you choose a song like this? Like,
I think that Mr. Evan...
do you go by kind of just how it feels and sounds?
Yeah, yeah. See, what do you think of these three tracks I added? Because look, one of the tracks, like two of the tracks, this track comes in at a later time, and then this third track comes in at a later time. It's the day that I was supposed to get my driver's test. Oh, yes, it was. I hit my grandpa and I broke my mirror. I am really sorry for my bad behavior. And I lost my privilege to go to the DMV. I got upset because a guy is coming over to help my autistic friend, and he's going to be there for 1 hour a day, and I got so angry because I'm going to be bored out of my mind when that happened. I overreacted. That was me. That was bad of me on my part to overreact. I'm so sorry. What in this misery have I done? I get out of control whenever things don't go my way. I yell, I scream, I hit my grandpa. I'm sorry. And then my broken mirror. Oh, why? I'm sorry. Help me. Oh, help me, Jesus. Help me to change. Well, I think we'll for transition, we're supposed to go back, we're supposed to go back like regularly. Today is a big day. I'm studying for my driver's permit test.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you're not studying, you're taking it.
I mean, I'm taking it. I'm so excited.
Got it, or you need help?
What is this?
I don't know. Go back up. I can't see it.
It says secure your account.
Did you get an authentication code? Your ID card, yes. Please tell us about your most recent driver's license or state aid.
So what happened? We went up there, and then were we able to do it this morning, or what did we have to do?
We had to come back and fill out an application of some sort.
So we're here. We're just waiting.
Okay, two things. One, I'm excited to get my permit. Woo, I'm so excited. I really am. And two, I'm getting tired of wearing these masks all the time. I'm tired of the mask.
Are you nervous about the test, or do you think that you're prepared?
I think I'm prepared, but
do you want to maybe study a little more on your phone?
Sure, but real quickly, what going through this all the time, like going out like this all the time, this is getting uncomfortable for me. Wearing a mask like this all the time.
Yeah, I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
I'm tired of wearing a mask. Every day I have to do it. I'm tired of it.
So what are we doing now, Shawn?
Going in for my permit.
Waiting in line, all masked up.
And I don't like the mask thing.
Nobody does, but hey, God willing, you'll get your permit, and it'll all be worth it, right?
Yep. We're on the way home.
Because why?
We have to get some documents.
And guys, let's be honest, none of us saw those documents on anything that we looked at today.
Kicked us out of line. We were told all we needed was that little number. That 8-digit number is all we needed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a little frustrated.
I just hope I get my permit. That's all.
We're back for a third time, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard it said the third time is a charm?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is it, baby. This is the charmer. We're done. All right.
Finally, I get my permit.
Well, we are going into the 7-Eleven to get Shawn a little pepper upper. He needs a picker upper. He needs orange juice or sugar or something. He's fading, man. Yeah, he's fading.
He finally gets online. Here, do your invitation. I'm going to be the lady. So, hi. Are you ready for your test?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm higher functioning autism, so I can drive. But if I was lower functioning, would we be doing this right now?
It depends. Depends on your ability. If you were able to, yes.
But what if I was like nonverbal and having younger kids' interests?
Probably not be able to. Simply being nonverbal, I mean, you kind of need to be, I think, be able to communicate more when you drive.
Yeah.
Hey, your phone hasn't dinged, has it? Hasn't shown you a message?
No. 6 there? All right. 3, 2, 1.
So tell us what happened while you're on your trip in Big Bear.
So I was having a nice trip in Big Bear. One day I went on a boat, and then I decided, hey, I haven't talked to my friend in a while. So I decided, hey, this is my old pen pal, so I decided to try to call him. And I tried a bunch of different ways. I tried my phone, but he blocked me. I tried my papa's phone, but he didn't answer, and I tried texting him on papa's phone a couple times, asking to FaceTime. I tried Mimi's phone once, and then this morning, yet again, this morning, I tried a free calling and texting app, but what happened? He didn't answer.
Okay, so what do you think? Do you think he wants to talk to you?
I don't know.
Wait, you don't know? The first thing you told us was that he blocked you. So if he blocked you, what does that tell you? Do we talk to people? Do the people that want to talk to us block us, or do they not block us?
They don't block us.
So maybe, Shawn, we need to leave him alone.
Okay.
You should have left him alone after blocking. Like, that should have been the social cue of, oh, wait, I'm blocked. I'm going to leave him alone.
This is a thought about me when I was in North Carolina. Yeah, and my friend from school, I was basically wanting to go on community walks with him, just like I used to on the outings, when I did class. But except I kind of want to do some other things with him. Get some lunch, go to Starbucks, go to a movie, have him over at my house, watch, maybe he can get me into some new stuff. Maybe I can get him into some new stuff. And, maybe make that kind of another friend I spend a lot of time with. But it didn't happen this way. And here's the thing, I'm 19 and when I turn 20, I'm no longer going to be a teenager, so I just feel like this whole COVID thing is like taking that last year of being a teenager away. Okay, so there is this disgusting smell, and I'm fanning, and it's outside. And look, I'm fanning into the car.
Oh, yeah, I know. Mixed with between this and that. Ugh.
We got an air freshener.
I think they opened the sports park again. It smells terrible.
Do you want me to stop fanning it in here?
I don't know what the smell is, but it's not good.
I got this red and black basketball that I'm going to start playing with.
Oh, there he is. How do you feel, man?
Happy. So, I'm laying on a pillow and a blanket in the car for this adventure tonight. And I'm trying to do it to keep myself safe. Because I just want to stay nice and warm because it's going to be cold. And I don't want to risk catching a cold in the cold. And, and another reason is, with this layer of protection, if someone would walk up to the car, try to grab the door open and try to kidnap me, this could be a comfortable thing. This could be like a protection thing. This is why I'm doing it.
You have a pillow and a blanket in the car. You're laughing about it.
Well, it's just the funniest way that I'm protecting myself. This is an exciting time for me.
Why?
Because, I'm in a new program and I get to learn a lot more.
When did it start?
A few days ago. What I like about it is just being there, being on the Zoom calls, and I requested some outings. Me and get the text sometimes because students, teachers have to keep in touch with one another.
Do you like that aspect of it?
Yeah, so as you can see, I sent her all my outing requests, and then she's like, "Thank you, we will definitely hit many of these places up because of my request." And what I don't like is that my favorite person is gone that used to work in.
But man, you're a tough guy, dude. You've really handled a lot of changes, a lot of things that happened. And Shawn, I'm saying you're still upbeat, you're still happy, and you're really trying to have the best behavior possible.
Oh, thanks. He was a friend to me, and it was really sad to see him go.
What happened? Like, how did it happen?
Well, he's no longer working with me, and I'm just having some thoughts from the last 3 years.
So how'd they tell you? Did they just say he's not?
Well, Mimi told me because they told her on a meeting, and I'm just really hurt.
Do you kind of wonder why they would do that?
Yeah, and I'm just really missing him at the moment. I feel like he really doesn't. I feel like he really didn't care about me from the start, and he just wanted to get the 3 years over with.
Okay, but think about that. Why would he do 3 years? The district usually has a BI do 2. He did 3. Why would he, if he didn't want to be with you, think about it. Why would he do 3 years? Shawn, that's over 1,000 days. You have a week's perspective, a week's gone by. How do you feel now?
Better, but this is a weak perspective of the interview.
Yeah. How come you feel better?
Because I realized it was kind of a hybrid mix of what happened in the interview from last week. So, okay, part of it was I really missed when I said I miss him. That part was true, but the fact that he hates me, I didn't really believe that. I was just upset about an incident that happened in the Starbucks with me and Mr. Evan. So I was in the Starbucks and I was talking about something that happened during the last week. I said I farted in class, and then I kept talking about my immature comments and stuff. And then I was in the Starbucks, and I was just acting that way inside the Starbucks. And then Mr. Evan was like, "Let's go right now." So when we left, I was crying about it on the way home, and then I started audio recording him. If you don't know what that is, I'll show you. It's the voice memos app on an iPhone. So I audio recorded him once last year because of an incident that happened in a restaurant. And then I audio recorded him, try to audio record him again. But then he's like, "Take out your phone, take out your phone, take out your phone, take out your phone." Then I just got really scared.
What were you scared of? Were you scared of me, or were you just scared because you knew that I don't appreciate it when you record me without my permission?
Well, I was just sad and upset that I lost my privilege from last week to go to a hotel that I wanted to go to ride an elevator. That's all.
But what about this week? How do you feel?
Better.
And did you earn that back?
Yeah. So over the last couple weeks, I kind of have been off track with my behavior, and it's not just that. It's just me and Mr. Evan talking lately, and we feel like that over the next 3 weeks we had a little chat. I printed out a piece of paper for a system last week to show Mr. Evan. But I just feel like we just feel like I just need a bit of a reinforcement to kind of help me for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I at first was like, I'd rather not do that just because that's something that we would have done when you were younger. But then what I think has happened is due to COVID and you not being around, having as many social opportunities or abilities to socialize, when you're around people now, it's maybe more difficult for you to be as mature and whatnot as you want to be. And I think that in addition to that, one thing that we can do is do kind of a reset. So maybe sort of go back a little bit, reinforce you, because usually you just get reinforced just for, you know, it's very natural. Like, oh, Shawn, dude, we're going to do this and this and this. Dude, I'm so proud of you for doing that. But now I think you know what you're going to be reinforced for, and you know what the expectation is more now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why when you suggested it, I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's why I printed out the paper last week.
So thank you for doing that. And we'll report back and let everyone know how it went for Shawn as he...
And we'll report back to this in about 3 weeks.
Gets ready to show people in adult transition and everywhere else, just, you know, he's fun, he's silly, but he's not just a silly guy. He's someone with a lot to offer.
Yeah, and then every time I say a fart in the chat, everybody just stares at me, which kind of gets embarrassing.
So how can you have that not be happening so that you're not embarrassed?
What I can do is...
What should you maybe not do?
Not type that in the chat. Because I need everybody to know I farted.
But do you really?
Yeah, because I just feel like they need to know that I farted.
Well, are you ready for this? Next phase, adult transition.
Yep.
All right, bud. There's a backpack. May want to get it.
Just keep moving on. So
Have a great day, buddy. Let me get a shot of you.
So brother, where have you gone? Hold on and hold out. I hope you're gonna turn around and laugh in the face of danger. Find comfort in the eyes of a stranger. Lift your shadow off the ground.
Are you the star of the movie?
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Sort of. How are you today?
Good.
So, what are you and Mr. Evan doing?
I just called a bunny.
You called a bunny on my phone? How?
But I'm using my imagination, Mr. Evan.
It's my connection. Disappointed in every direction, but I find my way every now and then. Now my busted rearview mirror is useless.
I was at El Pollo Loco, and after, guess what I did? After I drank my water, we folded it out the window and I was done. So I threw the water bottle at Mimi's seat, and then I was done with it, so I threw it aside the drive-thru.
No one knows. Slow motion rolling stone. I don't need to be forgiven as long as the lights are shining. And here we are on what's left of our shooting star, burning out the dark. I don't need to be forgiven as long as the lights are shining when I get home.
Thank you all for helping me through my 21 years of life to become the man and independent man I am today. I know that I'm getting older and more mature, and one day I will get my own apartment. But but I'm doing more things myself, like going on walks and doing things myself. And I'm becoming a successful person. I'm becoming a successful person, and it's because of all of you in this room who has helped me.